Assets, which is based on the New World Translation, page 25, paragraphs 1 through 4.
So you ready for our study today, Nikos?
Yeah, I guess so.
Is everything okay? You seem like you have a lot on your mind.
Yeah, I do. My parents were just lecturing me before you got here.
Oh, really? I know what that feels like. We've all been there.
Yep, I got the money lecture. How money doesn't grow on trees and how they're sick and tired of me always asking and borrowing money. Apparently, I'm not responsible with my money. I mean, I'm not supposed to be. I'm only 13.
Well, I understand your frustration. I've had similar conversations with my parents. But something my dad taught me was, instead of worrying about the money you don't have, try to manage the money that you do have.
Manage money? I'm 13. I can worry about that when I'm their age.
Yeah, you're right. You could wait. But I remember a really good illustration in the Young People Ask book. Remember that book I gave you?
Yeah, it's in my room.
The illustration asked, would you jump out of an airplane without first learning how to use a parachute? I mean, think about it. 5,000 feet, 4,000 feet, 3,000 feet. How do you work this thing? I mean, of course, a person could figure it out while hurtling to the earth, but don't you think it'd be better if he learned how to use a parachute before he jumped out that door?
Well, if you put it like that.
So the best time to learn to manage money is at home, before you move out and reality smacks you in the head. Listen, I'm no expert, Nikos. It's still a learning process for me, and my advice comes from things my parents have taught me, but most importantly, the advice from the Bible.
The Bible? Are you serious? The Bible gives financial advice?
The Bible gives advice in every aspect of our life. Let's go ahead and take a look. Let's turn to Proverbs chapter 22. Proverbs chapter 22, and let's look at verse 7. And it says, the rich one rules the poor, and the borrower is a slave to the lender. It says that the borrower is a slave, so you become a slave to the lender, or in your case, to your parents. The best way to avoid this is to make a budget, and to avoid debt, we want to spend only the money we have. And we really want to try not becoming a victim for the advertisements of the latest gadgets and electronics that make us feel like what we have isn't good enough, and we have to have the bigger, better device that is ahead of what we have. And avoiding that temptation is difficult. Believe me, I know. One time I made a really big purchase, and I didn't have all the money, but I promised to pay my dad back. And it took forever, and I promised myself I would never do that again.
That reminds me of this African saying my mom uses. If you borrow a man's legs, then you go wherever he directs you.
That is so true. Until the money is paid back, you are under obligation to. But if you have self-control and stay within your budget, it will help you successfully plan for purchases, even big purchases. There's also good advice with things we already do own. Let's turn to John chapter 6. John chapter 6, and let's look at verse 12. And it says, but when they had eaten their fill, he said to his disciples, gather together the fragments left over, so that nothing is wasted. So Jesus here was careful concerning the things that he used. So when we take care of the things that we have, it lasts a lot longer. We're cutting down on waste and saving money at the same time. So when we keep our things in good condition and we use them as long as we can, it's not only practical, but it shows we appreciate what we have.
Yeah, I guess I do need to work on that.
Well, you're not alone, my friend. I do too. That's why the Bible is so practical with everyday life, because it gives us the reminders we need, whether we're young or old. So, money is necessary for us to survive, and it can provide us some protection if we use it wisely. But really, the only thing that can provide us with genuine happiness and security at all times is godly wisdom. And speaking of godly wisdom, are you ready to start our study now?